Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of an update on Saba. Now, essentially, this is talking about her hiatus, and she's actually put out a post over on her members only. A little bit how like Mori Calliope did, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago or so. But essentially, a lot of people have been kind of going after her for being on hiatus. Obviously, she's been away for quite a bit. And yeah, people haven't been super nice. Obviously, they're saying why are memberships on and things. People are paying for essentially having no content, which, I think is stuff that is pretty understandable. But also at the same time, if someone is like 5 months into a hiatus and you're still paying for a membership, I think you're pretty stupid. But anyways, essentially there has been an update though as to why she's been away. And what it kind of explains is the fact that Saba has a chronic illness. She says that she has a chronic illness. Now, this was on a members only post, as I said, just like kind of Mori Calliope did. Now, obviously, I'm not going to show that post because it is members only. But, just kind of wanted to give you a rundown. It's not a very long post either. So it is essentially just saying that she has a chronic illness, that she'll be pausing memberships, at the end of May, so in a couple of days. And that, it isn't getting better, apparently. So, that is essentially the bottom line of what is going on, right? And it seems that she will be coming out with another post, as she says, on Twitter, in the next couple of days or so to essentially explain it a little bit further, apparently, and just kind of explain it to everybody else. But it seems like a lot of people have been talking about this, post and everything. And, a lot of people have been very skeptical on, whether it's true or not, whether this post was true. And I did verify it, i.e. I got a membership and I looked at it myself, right? And of course it is, legitimate. So obviously it does suck, for Saba, because obviously, I can understand that, going through a chronic illness obviously is a very horrible thing. And I think it is even worse that obviously a lot of people as well have been so, unkind and stuff towards her hiatus. A lot of people are calling her lazy. A lot of people are calling her, all of this kind of stuff, right? And obviously it's kind of turned out to be, hey, she's actually away for kind of, some legitimate reasons, I would say, not because she doesn't want to do content or that she's, here just to farm your money. Obviously it seems like she was very ready to do a lot of content, and she's been hit pretty hard by, a lot of these troubles, right? And I'm sure maybe she'll explain it even further within the tweet that she said that she's going to release, and kind of explain what is going on and things and what she plans to do moving forwards. And of course we will cover that whenever it comes out. But obviously at the end of the day, it does just kind of suck that this has been going on, right? And there's been a lot of people talking about it, including Dark. Obviously the post includes the actual message itself, but obviously people said, man, I knew she had health issues, but I didn't realize how bad it was, saying it's a shame that this was leaked so quick, but this is getting out, this getting out was unavoidable. And I mean, yeah, you're gonna make a membership post, someone's gonna screenshot that and put it up. I don't think, it's gonna be public the moment you put it on a members post, right? I think that is pretty easy to kind of say. They say, I'm glad she decided to break the silence regardless of her going through a really tough time that leaned her not to. I'll be waiting for the official Twitter post, but I wish for her faster recovery and health. And obviously, yeah, it does seem like a lot of people are waiting for it. They're saying this is not good. Does she have someone to look after her? And I'm sure, she's got stuff in place, right? I think people worrying about her, like specifically, I think the only thing you could do is just kind of support her, and that's it, right? I'm sure she's got the right kind of support and whatever. And obviously, I'm sure that will people she'll kind of talk about that a little bit more maybe in the upcoming post, but they say, I knew she had a really bad autoimmune disorder, but I didn't know how bad it was. And again, I don't know the specifics on it, so I don't want to like speculate that it is an autoimmune disorder or whatever. It could be anything. All we know is that it's a chronic illness, and that's it. That's all she said, right? So there's a bunch of weird people that are getting upset, going to be upset that people are posting members only content, which again, yeah, was something that was kind of a conversation with the Mori Calliope thing, right? People were a little bit confused as to why she posted a members only post explaining things. And obviously some people could understand it because, it's one of those things where she's going to specifically talk to members because they are her fans, right? That was with Mori Calliope. Now, I kind of understand it more with Saba because this post was kind of just saying that memberships were going to be paused, right? So she's just putting out like an announcement to members saying it's going to be paused. So I think people are getting upset at that. I think it is understandable as to why she has, done a members post and not done a public post yet. because she says she's gonna make a public one, right? It just happened so that she did the members only one first, which to be honest, I think is the more kind of what do you call it, important one, because people are spending their money and they should know that it's going to be paused and whatever. And I think she's done, you know, the right thing as well, because as I said, she's been getting a lot of backlash for obviously not producing content and things with memberships, and people are still paying. You know, obviously those people are still allowed to pay, right? And you know, it's their own free will to do so. But I think that obviously she's just kind of gone ahead and, you know, just paused it just because it doesn't feel right or whatever. And again, I think that is fair enough, right? He said, I really hate MFs like you that share members membership content. So Lily Willy, you publish, so you people don't like VTubers. Could have just waited a few days for the public post, but it's always trying to be first. Classic waste of VT dweller. Probably not the first time either. And obviously, yeah, some people are annoyed at the membership post being leaked. But again, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it is really that crazy. You know, people saying, friends, there's been an update from Sameko Saba. Oh, this is, this guy reposted it. Said, holy moly, bro, get it together. And again, I think that at the end of the day, you know, I think Saba knew that this was going to get, you know, revealed. You know, obviously, as long as you don't share the actual post itself, right, and just kind of have a like a general rundown of it, I don't think there's much of a problem. And, you know, it's all going to be revealed in a couple of days anyways, right? They said, I hereby rescind any memes or jokes that I've made about this. And yeah, there's been a lot of jokes and things. And I think a lot of people were starting to regret that, right? Because, of course, you know, some of them were a little bit mean-spirited. So again, you know, I feel like, you know, it just feels weird, right? Because, you know, people have been so horrible about it. And then obviously she's come out and said this, and it's just like, you know, you probably shouldn't have been horrible about it, right? So yeah, obviously people saying like the pregnancy, like, again, this kind of stuff is a little bit stupid, right? I get there's jokes like with Philly and whatever, with her being pregnant and whatever and on hiatus, and I think that's, you know, funny, right? That's fine. But I think whenever Saba is actually genuinely talking about an issue that she has, you know, I think to kind of say, oh, she's pregnant, whatever, no, that's just stupid, right? Obviously a lot of people have been talking about it, saying, oh, poor fish. I think this feels like an indirect response to her getting so much stuff for keeping memberships open while she's on hiatus. Poor little fishy, I hope she's okay. So pretty much people were wondering why she wasn't communicating. And yeah, I do think this is in response to a lot of the, you know, backlash that she's been getting essentially from people, you know, because people have been going, you know, have been on her back about keeping memberships open. And it seems like, you know, this is the kind of result of that, which again, you can think about that either way, right? People said the worst people imaginable are on 4chan. And obviously, yeah, apparently the membership post was on 4chan. So again, as I said, I confirmed it. It is true. It isn't just made up by some random 4chaner. Some people say cap, which I think is, I just think it's crazy, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is. I just kind of wanted to give you guys that update. Of course, you know, I'm sure there'll be, you know, maybe a little bit more details as to, you know, what's going on and, you know, everything that's happening in the next couple of days or so. And as I said, I'll keep you guys up to date whenever that does happen. But hopefully things are okay with Saba. Hopefully things get a little bit better. And hopefully people can realize to stop being maybe a little bit less horrible towards her, you know, over this kind of stuff. Because, you know, nobody knows what you're going through on a hiatus or whatever, you know. And I think it is one of those things where there is a high chance it could be a health issue. Obviously, you don't want to speculate it is. But, you know, it is one of those things where it is this time. And, you know, a lot of the people that have been horrible are now kind of regretting it, right? But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.